Festus Keyamo, who is, of course, our Minister of State for Labor and Employment. He says here, allow me to kindly share the data of job creation by the National Directorate of Employment, the agency for job creation directly under my supervision as mandated by Mr. President. It is contained in a link to a Facebook page, not even their website, of the agency below. A brief breakdown of the efforts of the Ministry of Labor itself is highlighted. Now, here is another interesting thing, because you know he likes to send missives out. He says, out of sheer ignorance, many Nigerians point to the unemployment rate in Nigeria and heap it on the Ministry of Labor, whereas the statistics relate to all levels of government in Nigeria, from federal to local government. Anyway, look, if you go and look at the homepage of the Ministry of Labor, which we have up here, it literally says ensuring decent work for all Nigerians. I mean, that is, if you check their mandates and if you check their vision, it's about creating jobs and job creation. We go now to the stats that he provided. If you look at the NDE, the Facebook homepage, they said this is an in-depth statistical representation of the National Director of Employment's achievements covering all of its programs and schemes. This is the first page that you get on their stats when you go to their page. You get a table. If you even drill in further into the table, it says self-employment 140,201. There is no guide with respect to the number. As far as the numbers, normally at the top you'll get 2 zeros for 100, triple zeros for thousands, and so on and so forth for millions. So we're expected to understand here that between 2015 and 2022, self-employment was 272,000 when you've got a labor force that takes about 3 to 5 million people on an annual basis. They now put training. I don't know why they included training in a job creation thing, but they put training for urban, rural. Then they have wage employment. There is no disaggregation of the wage employment. We don't know what sectors they're in. We don't know which particular jobs they're talking about creating, but they just have rural, urban, and then YESO. YESO, I don't know why they put that in there. If we check a look at what YESO is a youth employment and social support operation. It's part of it is component is public works. Another component is conditional cash transfers, and then 3, skills. Doesn't have anything to do with actual jobs. So that's what they put in there, and they put their numbers there. We push on further. He put this further stats where they have. Now look at this, and this is where it gets really troubling. You've got number of job services provided at various job centers across the country from 2015 to 2018. Again, there's no guide with respect to whether this is in hundreds or thousands or millions. So you just have to take the numbers for what they are. At the top there, it says number of job seekers. We're supposed to believe that in total, between 2015 to 2022, only 5,710 people are registered as job seekers. You take the number of job vacancies at the bottom, it comes out at 904. Again, you know, and then check this out at the bottom there, number of job matches facilitated through NELEX. NELEX is the National Electronic Labor Exchange Program. If we take a look at their website is down. It says we'll be back soon. Sorry for the inconvenience. There's nothing. Take a look at the NELEX Twitter page. This is supposed to be an exchange program for the Federal Republic of Nigeria. They have 276 followers. You take a look at the last 3 tweets that NELEX put out, where that was in January the 31st of 2020. It's been about 3 years. So
it will be back in 2027.
Doctor, it's a really tough situation. Anyway, let me close with KPMG Nigeria. KPMG put out a projection for unemployment in the country. They're saying for 2022 was 37.7%, for 2020 is 40.6%. As you know, we haven't gotten updated numbers since Q4 2020. If these numbers hold correct, Nigeria has the highest unemployment in the world.
Well, even KPMG says this is a projection.
Yeah.
And the KPMG is probably dealing with the formal sector. So if you consider underemployment, which is also a very major problem in this economy, then of course, you are looking at a large population of unemployed persons and unemployed persons. Now, with all of this, it's clear that the next administration in Nigeria will have to deal with spiraling inflation, which, as you have correctly said, is responsible for this raging pandemic of empty pockets, which all of us are very familiar with, and which doesn't discriminate, particularly across the middle class spectrum. Then, of course, you have the challenge of slow economic growth, and then you have unemployment. So very serious issues that the next administration of Nigeria would have to address. And you were quoting, paying much attention to statistics provided by the Federal Ministry of Labor and Employment. Well, people lie a lot with statistics in Nigeria, and we have issues with data in terms of accuracy. So you can have a whole, set of data saying different things. And, Festus Keyamo talking about unemployment and what the government has done. Well, did he refer in that report that you are quoting to the hose and wheelbarrows that he was shown, and cutlasses that he was shown distributing in certain parts of Nigeria as evidence that the Buhari administration was creating jobs? Did he provide statistics with what happened with those hose and cutlasses that he was giving out? But he has one point that oftentimes when we talk about unemployment, we don't talk about the responsibility of the subnationals. Okay, state governments, what are they doing? Local governments, what are they doing? We tend to focus more on the federal government. And it's not only with regard to employment generation, it's with regard to everything else. But whether we need it, or we like it or not, we still have to address the issues of the economy. One of the recommendations from IMF in their World Economic Outlook, charting the way forward for Nigeria specifically, they said, well, Nigeria will have to tighten monetary policy further. We have done so 6 times consecutively.
Indeed.
Inflation rate has been going up 3 times. The highest rate in 17 years. Inflation rate. Okay, it could be higher before the end of the year. So these are the challenges that we face. But the issue is, are we going to get the right skill set